What's going on, everyone? My name is Max. I'm a communication skills coach, and what I do on this channel is I look at all different types of people's communication skills. I try to bring that knowledge to YouTube. So that's what we're going to be doing today with the cast of Outer Banks. Let's get right into the video today. I'm going to take a look at their communication skills and give you my thoughts.
Does Madeline Klein
Ride horses.
Yes. I ride horses. One of my very first jobs was working in a barn. And in turn, I got to take care of horses. So what's not to love?
Real horse girl dream.
Closet horse girl over here, for sure.
I'm liking Carlacia's energy off the bat over here. You know, notice how she's smiling and she just seems very warm and inviting. And, you know, Madeline almost seems like I don't know if she's like the lead in the show. It almost feels like, in a way, she might be like more of a social leader in this group, kind of taking the lead with the camera, introducing the cast, like as if she's done this before, you know, seems like more of like a seasoned actor maybe. And then Carlacia, she's holding this for Madeline and she's smiling. And I always tell people from a communication standpoint, when we sense that someone's warm and we sense that someone's inviting, we're much more likely to want to be around that person. We look for friendliness and warmth. And once we feel like someone is open to having us in their space, we're much more likely to want to be in that space.
How old was Madeline Klein in OBX? I booked it when I was 21, and I'm 25 now. So we've been at it for almost 4 years.
Nice.
Wow.
Oof.
Wow. Is Madeline Klein?
The cool thing about this so far is from Jonathan to Rudy to Carlacia, maybe a little bit from Madison, maybe a little bit from Chase. They're really kind of paying attention to Madeline when she speaks. It's really nice, actually. Like, they're really giving her that time of day. You know, obviously I'm assuming they're friends, but they're really watching her.
Madeline Klein, Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, no.
Chuck E. Cheese is literally a child casino run by a rat for children. An adult rat.
I'm gonna ask you about this later.
Yeah, Madeline seems quite polished on camera, and like I said earlier, she's making this concerted effort to look directly at the audience, to engage the audience directly. So if we're trying to learn something from her communication skills or her style, this is something we can take away. Not all of us are on camera, but mostly all of us speak to an audience or speak to one or two or three people. And what you notice about these more polished celebrities who are good at connecting with their audiences is they make an effort to look directly at the people they're speaking with.
So I've been on the very short-lived Game of Silence on NBC. I've been on Greenleaf. I was on the remake in Roots. I'm on this very small show called Outer Banks. Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
I like how Carlacia is carrying herself too. You can sort of see a little bit of a difference between Madeline's style and Carlacia's style. Like, Madeline's sitting more upright. The way she's carrying herself feels a little bit more polished and professional. Where Carlacia, she's super engaging, but there's something that feels very relatable about the way she's carrying herself and holding herself up. It almost feels like she's just kind of having a conversation with you in her living room. It makes the audience, it makes us feel a little bit more relaxed and at ease. Yeah, I'm just sort of getting this relaxed vibe from her. And I always like that in communicators and speakers. If we can speak in a way that kind of feels natural to us, that feels authentic to us. You know, that's really what it's about. It's that finding your authentic speaking voice. You know, you think about, who do you feel most comfortable with when you're speaking? Could be a parent, it could be a sibling, it could be your best friend. You know, how is it that you speak to that person? And that's sort of how we want to try to emulate speaking to other people, right? This is who we are. And Carlacia is coming across as a person who's very comfortable with herself. It feels like the tone and the language that she's using with us and the way she's carrying herself with us is the same way she'd carry herself and speak to people she's close with in real life.
Can Madison Bailey play piano? Sort of. There's I know one song, and I can kind of play along a little bit if I'm singing. Stay by Rihanna, actually.
I was gonna say Itsy Bitsy Spider, but
Look at Carlacia. The same sort of attention she gave Madeline, she's giving Madison over here, right? She's got their backs, man. I think when it comes to communication skills 101, showing a genuine interest in others, that's like number one, especially if you're having a conversation with someone. is showing your genuine interest in that person. When people sense that we're actually interested in them, those are the people who are going to want to be around you. If your audience feels like you don't want to be there, if you don't care about them, then why should they care about you, right? And that's how it works a lot of the time in communication. It's called the law of reciprocity. And there's a lot of examples and studies on this. But you see that from Carlacia. You definitely see that from Carlacia.
This one right here is an 1111. A non-personal first matching tattoo with my girlfriend, actually. I have Love Yours. It's a J. Cole song. It's basically reminding you to love your life, and there's no such thing as a life that's better than yours. He's also from North Carolina, so you know, a little representation. Then I have Handle with Care on my neck, because I'm sensitive.
I enjoy, and I think this helps humanize people when they bring other examples into their life. So I think she talked about her best friend at one point. She talked about J. Cole. She's citing specific examples of people we could relate to. So I find when people reveal these sort of little specific details about their lives, it helps humanize them. It helps us feel like we can relate to them a little bit more. We're seeing that with Madison here, and you can tell she's pretty loose on camera. She's able to drop a few jokes here and there, and I feel like when you're able to get a little bit goofier and lighter in front of people, it's a sign of your comfort. It's a sign of your comfort with the people around you, but it's also a sign of the comfort you have within yourself. If you think about it, when you're not feeling really comfortable, it feels hard to let loose and be goofy.
Was Chase Stokes drafted to the USHL? I was. I was drafted by the Waterloo Blackhawks. The USHL is the United States Hockey League.
Ah.
So, in a different
Athletic
life.
boy.
Yeah, well,
Cool.
concussions and injuries. Yeah, it just seemed like a safer route, which has actually not really been the case.
Yeah, I wonder if Chase is a little bit more introverted, actually. Like, I think he almost prefers when the spotlight's on the other people, and it's almost like he can shine a little bit more when the spotlight's on others. He can sort of like kind of sit in the back and just be funny and crack jokes. And here, when the attention's on him, it almost feels like he's answering as quickly as possible because he's not as comfortable when the spotlight's on him. And this could also just sort of be a part of his humility. Like he doesn't want to feel like he's bragging about himself. So when something about his hockey career is brought up, he's sort of getting through it pretty quickly. And he's sort of using self-deprecation as a tactic to draw attention away from him.
Concussions and injuries. Yeah, it just seemed like a safer route.
You can tell when the attention's on him, I think he kind of makes an effort to either be humble or try to sort of deflect from himself. And I think that's a part of a lot of people's charm, right? I think when people use self-deprecation, I think it helps people feel more approachable in a way, right? You look at Chase, he's cool, he's handsome, he's funny, he's got a good career. And I think him being a little bit more self-deprecating makes a guy like him feel a bit more approachable.
Did Chase Stokes join the military? No, I did not. I just finished a film about being in the military, so that's why I cut my hair. It was a very eye-opening experience, and very thankful for those who serve and protect our country now.
I should karate chop.
You got that.
Jonathan Davis.
Yeah, no, and he's pretty soft-spoken as well, right? Like he's a soft-spoken, seems like a pretty chilled-out guy, and again, I don't think he likes necessarily like bringing attention to himself in a way that a lot of celebrities like having the attention on them. I think with Chase, he's funny, he likes being on the periphery a little, likes cracking jokes, making people smile and laugh, but not necessarily being the guy who's in the center.
There's this show called Outer Banks that came on Netflix not too long ago. For some reason, everybody watched it and decided it was good. But like for real, there's something that changes when you kind of like get around a group of peers who are all kind of going for the same thing. You kind of like, they rub off on you. Honestly, like all of you have really inspired me to keep going and have changed the way I've acted in a lot of ways and a lot of the way I think about the industry. So thank you all.
I like Jonathan. Jonathan's out there a little bit. There's a sincerity to him. There's a warmth to him. You know, just in the way he's kind of affectionate toward Carlacia and Madeline, and, you know, just the way he answered that question, and the fact that he said, hey, I really appreciate you guys, like just showing his gratitude. From a communication perspective, if we feel something, if we feel appreciation or admiration towards someone or a group of people, it's really important to express that. Because we're not always feeling good. We're not always feeling grateful. We're not always feeling appreciative. But when we are, I think it's important to spread that love. It sounds kind of cheesy, but I do. I think it's important to spread that. I think it's important to share that. Yeah, that's cool that Jonathan did that because we need to hear it. There's a lot of people that need to hear that. There's people, I'm sure they appreciated that.
I was on varsity, so varsity football is like college ball.
I was okay. I was on varsity.
If I had like really cared about the workouts or like had been around to actually finish, maybe it'd have done something. But I'm kind of glad I didn't.
Yeah.
But I do have a friend who I played football with who is currently in the NFL. His name's Joseph Asai. He plays for the Bengals. Went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and Jonathan, similar to Carlacia as well, he's kind of got this real relaxed way of engaging the audience and speaking to the camera too. Like this kind of feels like this is how he would speak to his friends and family. He just feels like a very open person, right? He's open to share. He's willing to tell stories and share information. He doesn't seem closed off, and he seems very comfortable kind of being in the spotlight. I like him. He seems like a down-to-earth, like real guy.
Is Rudy Ponco
To make you
going to be in Marvel? You know what? We have no idea. Rudy Ponco.
Sounds like an NBA thing.
Singing. Please
on,
don't.
sing
No.
Sing.
Right. Sing.
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 Hard to get a read on Rudy right there, but seems like a sweet guy. I think he kind of wanted to get through those questions pretty quickly. I don't know if he feels as connected to me as some of the other castmates. Like Chase and Madison seem like they're really tight. I would say Carlacia seems tight with pretty much everyone, it feels like, but especially Madison, Madeline, and maybe even Jonathan up there. It's hard to tell if Rudy fits in the same way.
What is the Outer Banks handshake?
clap, clap.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
That's it. That's it. That's also
simple. Can I watch Outer Banks?
With my
My
parents.
parents.
Might be a little
Hell
too
yeah.
mature for parents.
It's fine.
Yes, you can watch with your parents.
Everyone. It's a
Yes.
family show. Why watch Outer Banks?
Why not?
I think actually Madeline might be the most awkward out of all of them. Like there's a little bit of an awkwardness to her, kind of. Like I think she might even be trying to be the most polished in a way. Like she is, but it almost feels like she might be the most uptight in a way. The rest of the cast, for the most part, seem pretty loose and relaxed. What do you guys think? I'm digging Jonathan and Carlacia. Super charismatic. I like her vibe. I hope you enjoyed that, guys. If you want to watch my uncut reaction and analysis, all you need to do is go to my Patreon page. I've included the link in my description below. Other than that, my name is Max. I will catch you soon. Peace.